find any positives at all in that performance?
Oh, probably Daniel Safidi was, he's had a pretty sort of tough sort of couple of weeks, and I thought he was probably pretty fair. He had a pretty good game, so it was a good response. And I suppose the kid at right centre signed with us for next year. He played really good, Jesse Ramian, so it was probably, if you're being honest about it, that was the only other good thing that came out of it from our point of view.
What do you say to the team after an afternoon like that?
Oh, look, it's not a, at the end of the day, as I said to the boys after the game, what we had out there today, plus, we've got young Corey Dennis and King who's in that 19 that's fit and available, really. And at the end of the day, this is a group that's got to front up against Parramatta next week. So it was obviously, we played a side, and you got to give them credit. They're a very, very good footy side, and I'm sure they'll be giving everyone plenty to think about later in the year. But we have had parts of our defence in the past, few weeks. We've been close a few times in the past few weeks against some good sides, and at the moment with our defence, we probably, we defend waiting to get the ball back, I suppose, rather than and save a bit of energy, I suppose, for offence, where we need to front load more energy in defence. And a classic example is them. We had a fair number of sets on the goal line in that first half, in that sort of 14 or 15 minute window. We had maybe three or four sets where we got penalties, and they are a good footy club, and they've been for the past 5 or 6 years quite resilient, and they held us out. On the other foot, we defend their first set pretty well, give away a tackle 5 penalty, and then they score a pretty easy try, and that's probably a fair difference in the two footy clubs at the moment. And don't get me wrong, they've got a hell of a lot of good experienced players, and they're at a different stage of a club to where we're at the moment too. So it's a great lesson for a lot of our younger players, though, that defence is important, and you need to front load all your juice into that. And if you hold them out and then you're a bit tired, well, let your back five get you out of trouble.
Is it a confidence thing with the defence, Aidan? You go back to the Brisbane game, your online defence that game was really good. The last few games you seem to just give up tries pretty easily.
I think it's starting to become one. It wasn't to start with. As a side, I think we just need to build the ability to stop tries when things aren't perfect, because in this game a lot of situations aren't perfect, especially when you're defending your line. So we just got to band together, I guess, and start coming up with some try savers, which, as you mentioned, we'd come up with a few in the start of the season. Here in round 1 against Manly, we probably had about 3 or 4. Against the Broncos, we had another handful, and that's the difference. I think we might have had one today when they made the break off the kickoff. We'll call that a try saver, but apart from that, they just seemed to, every time they had an opportunity, score. And as a side who spoke about our defence at the start of the year and said we need to improve, it's just unfortunately not good enough at the moment.
Carlin came off for a HIA, mate. Did you have any concerns about that hit on him?
Oh, look. At the end of the day, Luke always plays the game hard and pretty fair. If he's got his timing wrong and a touch late, I don't think he certainly would. He's not the type of player that goes out there deliberately do it. And if he's got him in the wrong spot, I'm sure the right people will deal with it. But as a whole, I don't think it was a deliberate act anyway. If it's touch late and a touch high, as I said, they generally. We saw Sam Cassiano get charged the other day, so that those type of ball players that are getting hit now, the game, if they think it needs sorting out, they'll sort it out.
Do you feel they limited Caelan's impact?
Oh, look, today was our easily our worst forms, not only offensively but defensively. They're obviously a very good defensive side, but we've played some other sides that are very good defensively as well and caused them a lot of trouble. But we a lot of passes just were going behind and not in front, and it never really flowed smoothly. And some of that's obviously a credit to the defence as well, getting up and getting in our face. But we never really got flowing today. So a lot of Caelan's best work is done out at second and third receive. So when that's not flowing, it's not getting in quick and crisp, and no one's really moving well. So I thought from an offensive point of view, take the obviously the defence was not what we needed to be, nowhere near it. But offensively, you know, they made us look a little bit second rate. Well, that's something that we've probably held our hat on a little bit. Yeah, so it was a pretty poor all round day like that.
Flano said that he'd spent so much time looking at Ponga stuff, he virtually had to sort of stop. I mean, it's only going to get harder and harder for him as he goes on, isn't it? Like, he seems to be, well, he was a focal point for their video this week.
Yeah, look, I think was the focal point for all the other sides he's played too. Maybe got off a little bit light the first week or two, but I think since then he's been that type of person where the opposition obviously looking at him now. Mitchell's not playing, he's probably even seeing probably a little bit more, but you know, a lot of people are commenting on Kalen for many different reasons, and but when you know he's got a certain skill set which is a bit unique to a lot of other players, and you know if we can get him in certain situations, it helps him do his good stuff. You know, so you know for that to happen, he needs the team to do quite well as well. Obviously, he's going to come up with his own brilliant stuff that he's going to be able to do, which them type of players can do. But from a a lot of his good stuff he does in creating breaks and tries and that for opposition requires other people doing good as well. So, the opposition, today, as I said, we didn't flow so well, it didn't move really quickly the ball and get to the right areas quick enough. And also, he certainly played a very, very good defensive side as well. But when we're defending like we are, when we're giving up pretty quickly tries, the offence is probably the least of the thing for us to worry about. If I think we've proven pretty much every time this year we've been in a game in that last sort of 5 or 10 minutes and we've got the ball, Kalen or Junior's been able to do something good enough to get us home. So if we sort of more focus on getting more resilience in our defence, get that right, then you rely on Kalen and them blokes to get you home in them sort of tough situations, which, we'll always have faith he can do that.
Brandy, as a coach, what do you do this week or next week to improve the defence? Obviously it's been a focus for the last however many weeks.
Yeah, look,
it seems to be getting worse.
Well, it's certainly got a bit worse, Baz. I couldn't argue with that. And in the game today, when you play sides like that, if you have a lot of people that are down, there's probably no better touch football player in the comp, probably apart from Kalen's probably Matt Moylan. So he had a pretty easy day, and with Graham and Lewis and that, they're good players. And when we had a number of players who, would probably, let ourselves down in key moments of games in our past 3 games against, South and Penrith are both in the top 4, and everyone sitting here would agree that watch those games, in key moments we were a try from going to the front, we let ourselves down, and whether today was a combination of all those 3 games and a lot of effort going in and we were a bit off the pace or a little bit of confidence, there's numbers, it's never any one thing that's the problem, but as I said, probably the bloke last week that the most crucial stage was Daniel Saff, and he was probably easily our best player today, so we need to, as a group, you've just got to hang in there together, and it's no good me publicly getting stuck into all the guys. As I said to them after the game, that the group that played today plus another 2 or 3 players are the same blokes that need to perform a hell of a lot better next week, and that's the coaches as well. It's not, as a coach, you've got to take your share of responsibility, and hopefully some of the players accept their share and we all get out there and we keep working hard. And the reality is the guys that train have been training hard, their discipline's good, their talk's good. Some of it's just not going to the field at the moment. And, James Shepherd, who was at Cronulla for the past 3 or 4 years, actually made the point after 2 of our sessions this week. He said Cronulla's session wouldn't have been as intense and the talk wouldn't have been quite up there because they've got so many good experienced players, So from a pure training point of view, I don't think the guys that are doing a lot wrong. It's more when we get on the field and we get in these tough situations that our confidence goes. And today, first set, good defensive set to a penalty, easy try. They're the things that have been letting us down. And we need to find that resilience, and we need to front load all our energy into defence, and have faith that if we do that, the offence part will come. And so there's still a lot of work to do there, but the same group of blokes have done very well against some sides as good as Cronulla throughout this year. I'm not sure. He had a bit of a slight groin problem coming into the game, and so I'm not too sure how bad it is.